I'm Michael Plumstead. What type of freedom will the creative business bring to our economy in, say, 4 years or the future? Now, why do I use the word freedom? I remember in the days that I was studying Rudolf Steiner's world economy, at about the time that my older children were attending the Waldorf School in Constantia, another book was published by Schumacher, Small is Beautiful. And so many people have used that word in all sorts of articles, but nothing seems to have taken hold, I believed, until now, until what's going to emerge in the near future. That book was a study about the economies based on the statement, if people mattered. If people mattered, how powerful is that? And that, I believe, is our future. I support this concept that Schumacher was talking about. And the concept that we're currently living with now in this unsustainable environment, that let's call it the pre-2020 environment, is based on natural resources like fossil fuels, which are not sustainable and not renewable and will eventually deplete, as we all know. Add that fact to nature's resistance to pollution and climate change, we're going to have a problem, either from nature or from the pollution, but I think more from nature and from climate change as well. In our modern pre-coronavirus age, we have the first world economies, and we have the third world economies, and we have the others transcending between the two. The first world economies are flourishing in their worship of money and the concept bigger is better. And let's automate to be more productive, not to worry about the people, okay? Automation just makes us more money. Proportionally to the world population, a small minority of individuals own the largest banks, the largest pharmaceutical companies, those really giant companies, the news media, throughout the world. These selfish individuals fool the world with their own little things that they do, like they set up their charity foundations and donate money and support them, and everybody says, wow, that's great. Okay. These rich, deep state people, they have the ability to change. They have the ability to support like the third world countries. But do they? The third world countries can at least come up to a second world country, and they can eradicate all the diseases that are thriving throughout the continent from north to south. And you know what these poor rich people do is ignore that or make it worse, in fact. And at the same time, they keep the world in debt. Okay, but I'm not talking about these things. I just get a bit emotional about them sometimes, because we need to be looking at the new creative world. So when you look at all these big corporations and these deep inner state individuals, you must come to the conclusion that I've come to. Bigger is not better. Bigger is not better. And therefore, the world economy supports the move towards small is the future. Small is the future. Everyone, particularly governments of the world, will be focusing on an intermediate technology that is useful and relevant to the third world, but also examine the freedom at the same time and fulfillment these small villages are experiencing without the first world countries intervening with their health and their politics. They live in a self-sustaining and offer a part solution to, I think, the future. They have a formula for a modern post-coronavirus economy, not in totality, and I don't mean we go back to the Dark Ages, okay? But these could include, the examples could include like African tribes, like the kibbutz in Israel, and like the Buddhist economies. Put these together and you find that there's something emerging along with modern technology. There's nothing wrong with modern technology, but you can't introduce a modern technology where an intermediate technology would keep the people in business, okay, and keep them farming and keep them manufacturing. Okay. So the solution would likely be for a few people to focus their talents a few hours a day and being part of a small business partnership, which is part of a small town, which is part of a larger community of towns and countries. So this philosophy is one of enoughness. I like the word, I don't know if it exists, but it certainly explains. The philosophy is of enoughness, not greed, okay, not selfishness, but enoughness. Which appreciates both human needs, their limitations, and the appropriate use of relevant technology. These selfless business owners and scientists will develop useful technologies that will focus on the employment of people using their inherent natural skills to move them as one society towards new heights of fulfillment. And unconditional joy. It'll just be part of us. The joyful experience. We will just be joyful. The people will offer their skill for an hour a day to develop sustainable organic food as part of a charitable approach and organization in each of the small communities and businesses. This food is freely shared amongst all the people participating and also to people who have disabilities and cannot participate. There are 4 types of economic systems. I'm not yet aware of a system that will benefit the people of the world. You can't combine these systems. It just doesn't work. You can't take the best of all 4 systems and then it just will not work. They are what they are because they are. Okay. The new system will emerge as individuals build businesses that are based on selflessness, which brings the all-important spiritual aspect of life into the process. And that's what's been missing forever. Okay. Freedom is freedom from any system that limits individual growth or places one in poverty. Every individual will have the right to property education, food, and an opportunity to help others through their work. And this will happen because small is beautiful, and small will give us a modern world with modern technology, and we will all be fulfilled in our participation in this new economic concept. Thank you.